So for my first DIY, I'm going to give you some love to this cute little table that I found on the street. The neighbor threw away, so I saw it and I thought I could do something with it. I take it and I put it on my garage for a while. So finally I got to do something with, and here I am. Now I'm going to give it really good sanding using the 80 grit. Yes, like so. This was definitely a lot of sanding because it has a lot of how do you call gloss on it. So I used the 80 grit, so this turned out really rough. So now I'm going to be using a other number of sandpaper and also doing by hand the edges because it was kind of hard to do with the sander. And then I went ahead and used the paper towel with a little bit of water and cleaned the dust. Just like so. So that's how it looks when I did the first sanding. See, as you can tell, looks really rough. So now I'm going to be using the other sanding, sandpaper and then I'm going to smooth it out, and this one definitely give a really nice clean look to the table or the wood. As you can see. So finally, after all the sanding, is the fun part coming up. This is my favorite part. Now I'm going to be using some white chalk paint. I will leave the link of the paint that I got it on Amazon. Really inexpensive and really easy to work with. So is the brushes. I really love these brushes. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just sharing the links in case you would like to use it. I really recommend it. They are really good, easy to work with. So as you can see here, I'm showing the little ones so you can use for the details, for the edges, and don't skip any space with the paint. Now I'm going to be using the antique wax, but I also eventually I'm going to be showing another glaze that I got from Amazon, so you can use that as well. But I want a darker color, so that's why I'm using the Waverly antique wax. So I'm going to give a really good coat on top, but at the same time cleaning the excess with a little piece of fabric. And now you can see the beautiful details of the wood on it. I really love this part. So all I'm going to be doing after is just let it dry, and then in the meantime I'm going to be working on the bottle using the glaze that I was mentioning before. Got this glaze on Amazon, and this is my first time using it, and I got really excited with the results on it. So the instructions say you have to add it with the brush and then don't let it dry, just clean the excess right away and you will see the difference. So that what it does is give you that really dirty look, or antique look to the wood, and I really love it. Like I mentioned it before, this is my first time using this glaze, and I'm really happy with the results. This really gives it a nice look to the wood. I love it. So after I let it dry for a night, and then I'm going to be working with the stencil that I got on Amazon, so I will leave the link as well. This is really cute stencil. Then I'm going to be using the antique wax to stain the words or stencil the words, just like so. And look how beautiful that stencil is. And then I'm going to just let it dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to be using a sandpaper from Dollar Tree, a 150 grit, and then just sand it out only in the stencil part, as you can see, just to give you that really rustic look. And we almost done. All I did after was add some protective finish, and then basically that is it. And this table came out absolutely beautiful. I really love the way this turned out. But I would love to know, what do you think about this project? So for DIY number 2, I'm going to be showing some love to this little vanity stole that I got it for free. A friend of mine gave me a vanity set, and I thought it's really cute, but the color in the fabric has some rips on it, so I thought I would do something with. I'm going to be sharing later on what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my vanity. So for now, I'm going to be sharing what I'm going to be doing with this little guy. So first, I went ahead and removed the cushion part by taking off the screws by using the drill, just like so. So then I tried to remove the cushion part, and then I realized it was kind of sticky, so I got the hammer and I started to push it down, and like that came out right away, as you can see. So next, all I'm going to be doing is basically removing all the fabric on it, just like so. So after I removed the first part of the fabric, I realized there was tons of staples on it. So they were not that easy to remove, but I find my way. So here I'm showing you guys the way I did it, using a little knife and a plier, but I ended up using a flat screwdriver and the plier. And that really took me like couple hours. So I stopped for the night doing that, and then to the next day I went ahead and removed the rest of the fabric. As you can see, then I'm going to be leaving the cushion part on the side for a little bit, and I'm going to be working with the bottom part. So I decided that I didn't want to do more sanding on this one. So I went ahead and give you a good coat of white paint like I did on the first DIY, but in this case I'm going to give you basically 3 coats on it to give you really good cover. I love these brushes, honestly. I cannot get enough from these brushes. I really love them, so easy to work with. I really love to work with chalk paint. Look how that looked only with the first coat. Looks almost covered. So if you want to just leave it like that, I think it looks nice already. So then I give it 2 more coats. This is how it looks with the second one, and then this is the third one. And then I'm going to be sanding a little bit using Dollar Tree sandpaper. Just sand it out the edges just to give it that nice distressed look, and then use some cloth to clean the dust, as you can see. So when I was done with that, I basically did the same process that I did with the first DIY by using the glaze, and then just wipe it out, and there you have a beautiful night rustic. So after that, all I did was added the protective finish. I didn't show that part, but yeah, I did that and let it dry. Now I'm going to be working with the cushion part. So I have some leftover burlap fabric from my wedding. So I thought, why not? I love burlap, I love twine, I love everything about rustic look. So I went ahead and just covered the entire cushion. So here I will leave the way I did it, just by using the staple gun and just adding on the corners first, and then keep folding little by little, adding the staple until I finish the entire cushion. So after I was done with that, I went ahead and added some adhesive spray that I got from Dollar Tree. I saw this tip online and I thought, let me try and see how this works. So definitely works really well. After it's dry, it looks really nice. And like I mentioned it before, I did use the protective finish at the end with the bottom part. My main item from today is this beautiful ladder that I'm going to be repurposing from my kids' bunk bed. You hear that? The kids' bunk bed has 2 ladders. The small one, which is this one, and a larger one that I'm going to be making another video eventually. So yeah, we pull it apart because they want a separate bed. So here we go. Alright, I'm going to start off by using Dollar Tree sandpaper and start to center all the ladder to be able to remove some of the gloss on it. So once I was done with that, I went ahead and used a little bit of water and a rag to remove the dust. Yes, like so. So now it's time to play with some paint, and don't tell nobody, but I'm going to be using some paint that we have for little touches around the house. So keep the secret for me, alright? Alright, let's get started. I'm going to put some of the paint in one of those paper plates and then start to paint the ladder. I will say one of my favorite brushes to paint wood, basically furniture, is those brushes that I purchased on Amazon. I'm not a sponsor or anything like that. I just mentioned it because I really like to use those brushes, and if you're interested, I can leave the link on my description box below. So I went ahead and give it 2 good coats on it. Alright, when the paint was dry, that's how it looks like. I'm going to distress in the edges by using the same papers from Dollar Tree. So let's do that.
Looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you.
Alright, at this point I think the ladder looks cute already. But as you can see, the lattice has some holes because from the screws. So I'm going to be just covering those using just thumbtacks. So I add a little bit of hot glue, place it on it, and voila. Although you can use that as a back of the ladder and nobody will know it. But you know, I like to cover those details so to have better finished look. Now I'm going to be using a hook to be able to place right in the center, as you can see, to be able to hang a frame or something else. But this ladder you can easily use just as a regular ladder, just by adding a little blanket or a little basket, and it will look so cute. I was going for a different look. Dollar Tree is carrying those wooden signs. I really love those. I haven't found the hello one, but yeah, I got the love and I really like it. So I went ahead and used a color gray by acrylic paint and then just paint it, as you can see. And then I'm going to sand the edges just to get that distressed or weathered look. And look how cute. So now I'm going to use some wood glue and place it right on top. I would like to mention that this step can be optional. I'm going to use the wood glue and place it right on top and keep it permanent. But I think it's not necessary if you want to keep changing or adding other things on top of the ladder. You don't have to, just place it on top and we'll be fine. But I wanted something permanent, so I went ahead and glued them. Alright. I'm going to leave that drying, and I'm going to use this old frame that I have around. I didn't even know where they come from, but yeah, I had it around. I was like, okay, let's give this one a second chance too. So I went ahead and used the same dark gray paint and just paint it. Now I have 2 dowels, like I say, things that I was already using, so I'm basically repurposing things in here. So they were a little bit larger compared with the side of the frame, so I went ahead, cut the excess, and then place it right inside, as you can see. And then I'm going to use a skewer and I'm going to place right across to the dowels that we just had glue. As you can see here, and just measure it down to know exactly where I'm going to cut it, and then just place it. So now you know what I'm trying to do in here is just a frame to be able to hang stuff on it. Okay, bring back the ladder and I'm going to place it right on the hook. And look how cute. Here I'm just showing that I add a little cloth pin, but I ended up using something else. Now I went ahead and add another hook, or try to, excuse my head over there, other hook on the top part, but for some reason I ended up breaking it. So forget about that. I add some paint to cover the mess. But at the end, I ended up adding another little hook to be able to hang something else on. So now for my last addition to the ladder, I'm going to make a cute wreath. So here I'm showing that I'm going to use 3 different kind of eucalyptus. So I went ahead and cut it all in little pieces, just like so. So as you can see, I have a little ring over here. I have used it before on previous DIY. I will leave the link on my description box about that project in case you missed it. So as you can see, some of the eucalyptus branches are a little bit larger, so I just leave it like that because I thought it would be easy to place it on the ring. So I went ahead and just kind of curve it a little bit to be able to place it on it. So add some hot glue and I start to place it, as you can see. So I will be doing that until I cover the entire ring.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love.
So as you can see, basically the largest pieces of eucalyptus were my base for my wreath. So now I'm going to be adding details. So I didn't have that much of the largest leaves, so I went ahead and just placed it here and there. I ended up using 2 little bushes. Okay, and then for the final touch, I'm going to be adding the other kind of eucalyptus just to bring some color on it and made it look more bright. So I think it looks so cute, and voila, there you have it. And for the end, I'm just going to be add a little piece of twine right on the back as a hanger. And there you have it. Now it's just ready to add on the ladder. And as I mentioned it before, that is the hook that I ended up using to be able to hang my little wreath. And there you have it. I just love it, love it. I think it came out so cute. Here I didn't show anything on the frame, but I ended up using a little picture on it. So I also want to mention that this piece of wood, my husband got it from free on Home Depot. So I'm going to be cutting in 2 different sizes, and then I will be able to work with the projects. So as you can see, I measured it down, and then I went to the garage and cut it with a bandsaw, just like so. for my first be making a home sweet home sign, and all I'm going to be doing is give it really good stain to this wood. I didn't show, but I did sand it the most I could, and then now I'm just going to stain it with the antique wax. So after I applied the wax with the brush, I went ahead and cleaned the excess using a piece of cloth. So after I stained the wood, I went ahead and used the hair dryer for a quicker process, but you can leave it overnight, it will be even better. So now I'm going to be using this beautiful home sweet home stencil that I purchased on Amazon. I will leave the link on my description box. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I really like to use makeup brushes. So here I'm going to be showing my technique to a stencil, and I think it worked really good. And for my first time, I think I'm really showing the way that really worked for me. Sometimes I have shown another process that really didn't work for me, and I ended up with some messy projects. So here I'm showing that I just use a little bit of paint, basically clean it all in a paper towel, and then I just made this motion like circle, like blend it the most you can, and then there you have it. If you want a more like pronounced color, you can go over again, but I really wanted like really light color. So then after I painted, I went ahead and used the same blocks from Dollar Tree and sanded it a little bit. Next, I just add the cover on it. You can use varnish or any other wood protection, and that is it. All I did after was add some frame hangers on the back, and voila, there you have it. I think this turned out so beautiful. I just love the natural details on the back, and just perfect to me. So but you let me know what you guys. So for DIY number 2, I'm going to be making this beautiful frame. It says "This is us." So as you remember, I cut 2 pieces of the wood at the beginning, and basically I'm going to be doing the same thing, just stain it and then using another stencil. But as you can see here, the stencil is smaller than I thought. So I thought it would be bigger and would be just fit an entire piece of wood, but unfortunately then. So I find a way. So all I did was just place it basically on the top, and then I'm going to be using some clips and place it on the bottom, and I'm going to be placing some little pictures on it, or just the name of the boys and us, and just switch it every season. Then I think it will be just great. It will look beautiful in my entryway. I'm so excited and so inspired about my new place. So don't get tired of me. All I did after was use thumbtacks because I didn't want to use nails on it or screws, so I used thumbtacks to keep the clips on it. And then I just placed the hangers on the back. So I went ahead and just mark it down where I'm going to be placing the hangers, and then just place it on it using a screwdriver, and voila. And basically that is it for this one, and I think this one came out absolutely beautiful as well. I just can't wait to place it in my new entryway. So let me know. Crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. I'm going to be using some wood scraps, and the first thing I did was use my husband's bend saw and just try to be the most precise I can by cutting. So I did my best and I came out with something like that. So next I used Dollar Tree sandpaper and smoothed out the wood, as you can see. So when I was done with that, I went ahead and I used my favorite antique wax and by Waverly in a color antique and just stain the wood by using an old towel. Just like so.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun.
So next I used the hair dryer just for a quick process. So now I'm going to be using this beautiful stencil that I got on Amazon a while ago. I got a package of 3. I did use already 2 on other projects, so I'm going to be leave the link on my description as well in case you missed it. So I just used the white chalk paint and stain the word, and this one was the easy DIY I ever have done. And I think it came out absolutely beautiful. The inspiration has 2 little things on the ends. I don't know the name for that. Okay, I call little things. And look how beautiful this sign turned out. All I did was use the hair dryer for a quick process like I mentioned it before, and then I'm going to be just placing those frame hangers, I think they call, on the back using the hammer, and that's it.
Let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are fine.
And there you have it, a beautiful frame, really high end, and nobody will know that I was just some scrap wood. I really love to be doing our second DIY, and this is really easy peasy.
And see the sun. Side by side I feel what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but think